5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And with that, welcome to your Media Mosh podcast. I am your host, Shane Beauregard, coming at you with all your news, reviews, and previews on what to watch on your streaming services and your TV. Because we ain't going to the movies anytime soon, folks. We are in the middle of some shit going on right now. This is my first show since all that coronavirus, COVID-19, or whatever the hell it is broken loose. And definitely adjusting to new times. And I'm not one to really watch the news or pay attention to all that stuff. I'll flick it on in the morning to see what's going on locally. But I can't get caught up with watching that stuff 24 hours a day, and neither should you. Because it just seems like there's a lot of panic and fear out there. And all I can tell you, folks, is please just use some common sense. I'll never understand the run of toilet paper. Someone please explain that to me. It's only going to get worse, I fear. I just feel terrible for... I don't know, man, a lot of businesses, a lot of small businesses and people in general. It's just a crazy time. When you walk around town, North Carolina is not, the state's not self-quarantined yet, but most people are staying away. And, just walk around ordering some takeout, and it looks, I feel like I'm in a damn movie. I'm sure most of you do too. So we're all going to get through this, folks. Again, use some common sense and just be well to each other. Don't be fucking assholes. And this is coming from an asshole, so I should know. So anyway, we're going to have to get adjusted a little bit in this show as well. Less news breaking lately, less box office stuff, but it's been a long, long week. And I don't usually like to pull this card, but especially if you have kids, because there's basically a free week there until the teachers got their shit ready and they start resuming online classes this Monday. But I have been just stomaching some of the worst kids' movies and shows I have in a long time. My son, for whatever reason, last night started watching Good Burger. You know, that 1997 piece of shit movie with the... Oh, God. I missed that whole boat, but I never thought a movie would top Dude, Where's My Car is worst in cinematic history. I do believe we have a contender in Good Burger. I couldn't do it. I just wanted to pop my eardrums and just gouge my eyes out that damn movie. So, and on top of it, my VP's been under the weather, so she's been sequestered in her room, and she got through almost 3 seasons of The Handmaid's Tale. I think I'm saying that right. So she's hooked. I ended up finally finishing watching *Halt and Catch Fire*, because I totally forgot I didn't even watch the last 3 episodes. I don't know how I got sidetracked. And I've said it before on this show, folks, and I'll say it again. Go watch that show. 4 seasons on Netflix. Scooter McNairy, Lee Pace, Mackenzie Phillips. Great cast. It's one of those shows that got better as the seasons went along. Kind of like The Americans. And just a well-written... It's just clearly one of the best written shows. And just as far as all the character story arcs that come full circle... I loved it, and I'm getting old because this is probably the first show that I'm going to admit it. I got a little emotional when it came to one character because there's a pivotal scene that happens, and you don't know what's happening till it's over. And it was just so beautifully done. And it's a story thread that they introduced in season 2, and you kind of forget about it, and then all of a sudden, it just comes out of the blue. So that's all I'll say about it. Please watch *Halt and Catch Fire*. It just went under the radar. It was an AMC show from like 2015 to 2018. Catch up on Netflix. Other than that, right now you have the Burt Kreischer Hey Big Boy special out. I started watching the Altered Carbon Re-Sleeved. I'll finish that this week. You also have Self-Made with Octavia Spencer. On the 24th, you have the new Tom Segura stand-up, Ball Hog, and he is personally my top 5 stand-up comedians right now. But the big one dropping is Ozark. It's coming out on the 27th. So hopefully I get through most of that. So I'll give you what's streaming. I'll give you the top 10 streaming shows and movies on Netflix right now. Number 1, let's start with number 10. Number 10 is On My Block. Number 9 is that god-awful animated Boss Baby show that my kids, they do like that one as well. 100 Humans. Pandemic, of course, you'd be up there. 2012, another natural disaster movie. Number 5, you have Love is Blind. Number 4, Marky Mark, still coming strong with Spencer Confidential. Number 3 is Tiger Killing. Number 2 is All American. And number 1 is Self-Made with Octavia Spencer. That's what's your top 10 streaming Netflix shows and movies right now. So let's get on to what I'm going to review. And the first one is a Netflix original series. That would be Castlevania Season 3, which is sitting at 100% critic score with an 85% audience score. This one's a little bit different. It is a full 10 episode order. I believe season 1 and 2 combined were 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So this is not a spoiler, but, well, it kind of is. So in 3, 2, 1, season 2 concludes with Trevor Belmont, Sypha, and Alucard finally taking down Dracula. So season 3 launches you into a new direction. You have Belmont and Sypha just going around killing these night creatures. You have Alucard's storyline. He's been alone in this castle. And then you have Hector and Isaac. They are the forgers. Hector's on a mission for revenge. So there's 4 different stories going along in this series. I liked pretty much all of them. The Alucard one gets a little freaky because he gets paid by these 2 visitors, a brother and sister combo from Japan, and they want him to train him. So there's that storyline going on, totally isolated. Belmont and Sypha stumble along this town with this big secret going on, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it. That's the main storyline. And then you have Isaac, the other forger, who's been taken prisoner. He's been taken prisoner. He's being held up in one of the vampire's castles. They're using him to make an army for him. Outside of the Belmont Sypha storyline, I really liked Hector's storyline. His story arc is coming full circle. Again, he's a man on revenge, going after Isaac because he feels like Isaac betrayed him and helped take out Dracula. This season, I feel we're going to look back on season 3 because I do think it's launching it into a bigger series. Like, this is going to be the stepping stone into like seasons 4, 5, and hopefully 6. You get nice action as you always do in this show. The fight scenes are great. You get more humor from Belmont in here. It's just a well-written show that the creators know where they're going with it. So if you enjoyed seasons 1 and 2, this one is more story and character-driven season. Again, you do have your fight scenes, but they're a little bit less than the first 2 because, again, it is 10 episodes, so they kind of draw it out a little bit. But at the end, you may not enjoy it as much as season 1 and 2, but I think you're going to appreciate season 3 once we get into seasons 4 and 5. So I had a lot of fun with this show. It's very bingeable for me. I'm going to agree with I'm going to split the difference between the critics and the audience. I'm going to split the difference between the audience and the critics. I'm going to go 4.5 out of 5 for me. Only because the Alucard storyline there's a scene in here, folks, and it go woo. It's just a little out there. That's all I'm going to say. It gets a little weird. So moving on, once they announced the coronavirus was going on, they were shutting everything down. I was able to go in and see. Yes, I'm one of those guys. I went to the movies. There was probably like 15 people in there. I'm in those big reclining chairs anyway, so I just brought a wipe with me, wiped it down, and sat there and watched Vin Diesel in Bloodshot, which is right now sitting at 31% critic score with a 78% audience score. It is one of those movies with a big divide. And it's funny, side note on this, apparently Paramount, which is going to buy the character rights back from Sony, wants to relaunch. They want to relaunch Bloodshot again. Vin Diesel wants to play the role, but they want to go younger with the role, which I agree with. When I was watching this movie, I was like, yeah, he seems a little too old for this character. But, and an additional side note, Blumhouse, along with some other Universal and some other studios, are making movies more readily available online. So you'll be able to watch Bloodshot if you want next week. Again, they're charging $19.99, which is a big price tag, I believe. But where it's going to help you if you have kids movies coming out, like the new stupid Trolls Tour movie coming out. Usually I would have to drop upwards to $40-$45 for 4 tickets. When you're watching kids movies, that is a bargain. Only paying $20 so your kids can watch a movie. We'll see how this goes. Is it going to have an impact on... Yes, we'll see what kind of movie theaters survive, but I do believe that there will always be a need for movie theaters. Because some movies, quite frankly, have to be shown on the big screen. Plus, you get to get away. We all know why we go to the movies. back onto the Bloodshot. So, alright, so let's get right back in with Bloodshot here. We have Vin Diesel playing Ray Garrison, a Marine soldier who ends up getting himself killed and now is part of this bigger program run by Guy Pearce. You also have Eliza Gonzalez in here. She is hot. I mean, she is hot. The only thing I recognize her in, she was in Baby Driver. She plays KT, another soldier in this company. You have Lamorne Morris playing Wilford Wiggins, who's pretty much the IT comic relief. Directed by Dave Wilson. This is his first major picture he's directed. Other than this, he directed a episode of Love, Death, and Robots, a Netflix original. You have Guy Pearce again. He is a doctor in this advanced laboratory, and he has a team of broken soldiers that he's in charge of. Like KT's character, which is like the dumbest thing ever, has this enhanced breathing mechanism that helps her breathe underwater, I guess. Yeah, and then you have a guy with these bionic legs. Then you have a guy who's blind but's hooked up to some ocular device that makes him see everything around him. They're all there to help out Bloodshot during these various missions. And he's having these memories of his former life. We know his wife ended up getting killed. That's his main motivation during these missions. I'm trying not to spoil this, folks. But, yeah, the storyline, when you go and think about the storyline, it's really kind of weak. Why Guy Pearce is using Bloodshot. You don't know much about Ray Garrison's background other than the fact that he was a soldier and he was married. Which I didn't like that. I could have used a little more character development there. But the action scenes are really fine. I don't see why this is 31% by the critics. It is a typical one-note Vin Diesel acting job, which is elevated by the other characters in this movie. There's one guy, and I didn't even write him down, but he's one of the soldiers, the little bionic leg guy, who's a real dick. I mean, he's just a fucking dick, and he hates Bloodshot. We don't really know why, other than the fact that he has to babysit him and clean up after him. There's no context there. We don't really know why. I guess there doesn't have to be a reason why. So again, really nice action scenes. It's not that bad of a movie, but it does seem like it's going to be another hit on Vin Diesel's record. Just go back to doing Fast and Furious. Seriously, like nothing. And he did mention that during an interview that he is working on the last Witch Hunter 2. Why? Why? Nothing sticks other than one or two of the Riddick movies and then Fast and Furious. I mean, you built your whole career playing Dominique Toretto. Yeah, just stick to that. And without spoiling anything, I really don't know how Bloodshot survives the end of this movie. It defies logic in all kinds of sense. This movie is a nice 90s throwback action movie. That's what I'll give it that. It kind of had elements of Universal Soldier. It had elements of the way he was playing Bloodshot was very Terminator-esque. So I actually had a good time with this movie. I would see it again. I wouldn't rent it or watch it for $20, but I'll give it a shot. So I am going to split the difference again on this one. I'm going to give Bloodshot a barely passable grade based on Eliza Gonzalez and Guy Pearce. I'm going to go 2.75 out of 5 for me. Now, moving forward, I will get back to these weekly shows. I am sorry for the delay on this one, but we are going to be watching a lot more streaming movies and shows, especially this week since my kids are, and just like everyone else's kids, are out of school. And I'm just going to go ahead and say they're probably going to call the whole school season. So there's going to be a lot of Netflix and other watchings going on. So I will fill you in on more next week. So in the midst of everything, I hope everyone has a great week. Go check me out on the Facebook's Media Mosh. Go check me out at the Apple Podcast Store. Download me, share me. Take a second, hit up with that 5-star review. And check me out on the Twitterverse at Shane Media Mosh. And then circle back around, check out Instagram, Facebook, and the Twitterverse. And check out Mr. Argue Myself, Chris Frodell. Until then, get caught up. Get caught up in the mosh.